as you grow as a business, you're going to, in e-commerce, need to find agencies. And last year I hired about 7 or 8 of these agencies over the course of the entire year. And it wasn't great. Like, it was a good learning experience, but it wasn't phenomenal. And I think I, over the process, had some home run hits. Like, some people were incredible. Like my buddy Dan, he's kicked ass and been amazing and really helped me a lot. But then some of the other agencies that he referred or that I connected up with were just not good fits, and they didn't perform. They just led me down a path, and they had a belief system, and it was just like when you, the idea that when you join B players, right, and B minus, C plus players, they don't hire A players. They're afraid of people that are better than them. And they don't want you to succeed because subconsciously they're just not used to succeeding. And I'm not saying any of these people intentionally do this, but you'll just realize over time, as you operate at a high level, that the elite people are like way up here. And then the majority of other providers, agencies, people you hire are down here. And you can tell, like, within a week or two of bringing someone on, if they're gonna perform and they're proactive and they actually step it up in terms of the pace of communication, how professional they are. That's how you know when these players are elite. It's when you are following up with them, when you're the one that's dumping and updating them on what's going on with the actual brand and what you're doing. That's when you know it's not the right fit. Like, they will be the ones that inform you and bring value to you. And it's just the way it is. So this is a little bit of a rant, but the main point I'm trying to make here is that you need to realize this. The sooner you realize that when you hire people and you can identify the superstars probably within a week or two, and that they're not going to be that over time, the faster you can sort of optimize. And the organization is the sum of all of its parts. So all the people that contribute to the organization is what's going to be success. And it's the same with agencies. As you scale, there are things in your business that you're not going to be an expert at. Things like email copywriting, maybe TikTok shop, maybe it's Amazon Seller Central, where you just can't build everything you need to succeed in that realm fast enough. And frankly, you might want an agency because the value of them working with all the other clients, maybe being in tune for years on that platform, like Amazon, for example, you just get better data. So that's another pro that can benefit from an agency. On the flip side, if it's an agency and they don't perform, you can be locked into a contract. You may not get performance. They get paid regardless of how you perform. So you take on risk because you're cutting a check for a partner that's just there. So you have to be careful. And I think that when you're first starting out, if you have money, it's still valuable to hire agencies just to learn. As long as you're getting value, you're learning, and set the expectations up front that you may want to build this process in-house, or just go at it and see if you can benefit from their process and their value add. And I encourage everyone to kind of follow this process on how to hire when you're thinking about vetting these partners. All right, I take 3 approaches when I think about hiring an agency or a partner for a specific thing in the business. 1, I look at their reputation online. We really vet that. We search for them, Perplexity, Trustpilot, G2, wherever it is. We do a lot of research. I also blitz call multiple providers. So I never just search for one, do some research, and then talk to them and hire them. I will always have at least 10 to 15 conversations with different agencies, at a minimum 5 to 7 conversations to just understand who strikes me that's strong. Because what I often find is the first few calls, I'm like, wow, this is a great person, I should hire them. And then I have another call and they're not great. And I'm like, yeah, I should hire the first person. But then the third call, I'm like, holy smokes, this person is way better than the first person. And that process will kind of flatten out as I have a half dozen to a dozen conversations with experts in the space, until I finally land on maybe like 1 or 2 people that I'm like, yeah, they know what they're talking about. They seem like experts. And you know, Hermosi talks a lot about this, but I'll mention it as well. When you're hiring, look at how people measure success. Ask them, how do you measure success? What are the expectations you have? Here's my expectations. Are we aligned? Like, if I bring you on board to grow our TikTok shop, can you take it from 10,000 a month to 100,000 a month in the next 4 months? Is that realistic expectation for me to have? And is it something you think is possible? Because at that point, if you bring them on and they align with you, you're gonna be able to essentially adjust and go, you didn't do what you said you would do. And it's not like you are stuck in some kind of contract where you go in and the alignment isn't there. So having clear expectations on what you want and having an expectation alignment on what they expect you're going to be expecting for results, and also sharing your biggest concerns. They don't live in your head. You need to share what you're concerned about and what your hesitations are for hiring them, for them adding real value versus you being able to do it on your own. And that will really make you a strong partner with them. So I always recommend, this comes with a level of emotional intelligence and growth as a leader, to try and convey, hey, look, listen, I'm having trouble, especially in that last third of the call. I like to do 30-minute calls. I just set up a Calendly for free, and then I book it and I go back to back to back calls when I can on a dedicated day or two. And then I have had conversations, I take notes, I set up a ClickUp list, and then I create criteria that I'm rating them on, or just a simple Google sheet. And then I try to tell every call, in the beginning, hey, I've got a hard stop in 25 minutes. I want to give you time. The big things that I'm dealing with here is in this job description. I write out what I'm looking for in the job description ahead of time to give them that information. I explain them the brand, what we're doing, where we're getting stuck, what our 3 biggest challenges are, and why we're looking for an agency partner to help us. And then I go, look, the purpose of this call is to hear your insights on how you operate, who you are, the 3 issues we're dealing with, and then ultimately, do you think you can help us, and are our expectations aligned? If they can do all of that, then we have a good possible match. And then I go, hey, I want to see your track record, because track record and past performance is ultimately a big indicator of your future performance. And then lastly, I like to ask them, who do you think the biggest competitors are in the space? Who are your biggest competitors as an agency? Who do you compete with? And what's your retention? How long do you keep your clients? Is it for 3 months on average? Is it for 5 years? Obviously, if they retain clients for a long time, they're gonna have a lot of success. So, hiring agencies is really important, and it's a good process, but that's how I like to approach it. I hope you found this video valuable. If you did, drop a like, comment below, and let me know your experience, and maybe you have some pro tips as well on how to hire.